Welcome to another video. I'm the Starman and this is a very special video today. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of my new telescope. It's an Askar A55 quintuplet astrograph, a very compact telescope which I'm going to be using hopefully for taking around with me on trips and traveling abroad. It's a super compact telescope. I bought it from First Light Optics. They've got the little badge on the front here, FLO. May contain clouds. A little bit of fun from FLO there. It cost me £795. Not cheap, I know, but wait until you see this telescope. It's amazing. And by the way, this is just an unboxing video, this one. So please stick with me. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. Many other channels have done reviews on this telescope. I will do one at a later date. I've watched Trevor at Backyard Astronomy. I've also watched Q the Lazy Geek and also the Space Koala. And after watching all their reviews on this telescope, I decided to go out and buy one for myself because I was so amazed by it. I have been after a small wide field telescope for such a long time now that it's about time I got myself one. Now, I also ordered an adapter for my camera as well. That hopefully will be in the box because I've got many cameras. In fact, I've got this camera here, which is a Nikon D850. Now, I ordered a Nikon adapter so that that camera will fit on this telescope here. Now, I just want to quickly show you that I've already got a telescope. If you watch my channel, you'll know that I already have this beast of a telescope here. Look at that there. That is a Celestron 6-inch Schmidt Cassegrain telescope with an electric focuser here as well, and also it's got a 50mm finder scope on the side there. This is the sort of telescope that I use mainly for planetary, looking at planets and very, very distant objects in space. It's not the sort of thing that you can really cart around very easily. So the main reason why I bought this telescope is because it's a very wide field. I'm after doing some wide field astrophotography and I want to go traveling as well, possibly abroad, and something like this would be ideal. But anyway, I think that we'll get on with the unboxing. Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? Yeah. And like I say, I watched a lot of other channels. They're just some examples that I give you there. Check them out if you want. But like I say, this is just an unboxing video and I will be explaining it as I go along. I'll be explaining what I'm going to use it for and some of the features that it's got as well. And hopefully you might pick up something from this video that you didn't pick up from the other videos, you know. So we're doing this one live. And I bought it with my own money as well. Not to say that the others didn't buy that, theirs with their own money as well, but yeah, I've bought this for myself. So it's a box inside a box. Oh, right, here we go. Oh, now then. Oh, look at that. So it says on the front, let's have a look at the front, shall we? Askar, the brand. Petzval. That's a design of lens. I think it was one of the first designs of portrait lenses. It's the design of the lens. This is very similar to a camera lens. I'll just show you now quickly. So I've got a camera lens here. Now that is a Panasonic 70 to 300mm lens, and like I say, the focal length of this lens is very similar to this one. So this is this goes to 300mm. The focal length of this one is around about, I think it's 272 offhand, I'm not quite sure. But the thing about astronomy is we tend not to talk about focal length. It's a bit of a dirty word really. It's more about aperture. It's a wide field telescope with an aperture of f4.8, so it's pretty fast. The lower the number of the aperture, that's the ring, that's the opening that you can see through, the lower the number, the faster the telescope is or the faster the lens is. So anyway, so this is f4.8. I'm getting quite uncomfortable knelt down here. So let's open this up and let's get inside, shall we? Yeah, that's a picture of the telescope there with the lens hood on. I've got a bag of bits here. I've got some screws. These are for, it's got a tripod plate on it, so you can use it with that. I have to say, when I was watching Q's video, he was talking about the case, and it's a really, really nice case, actually. Got some other bits here. Let's take it out of the case, shall we? Out of the box, should I say. Right, so that's the box. I'll just put that to one side. Right. Let's take it out of this. Oh, I'll tell you what, I have to say, now one thing he did mention was that is a very, very nice box, isn't it? So the telescope is in here. And I'll just turn it around and show you. He actually mentioned that it's a great box if you've just got the telescope as it is. But if you put add-ons, you can put all sorts of add-ons onto it, like an autofocuser. And he did mention that if you have an autofocuser attached to it, you won't be able to use this case unless you take the autofocuser off, but that's probably too much trouble. But there it is, in the case, all wrapped up. So let's, I'll move the case out of the way in a minute, but we'll just, oh, I tell you what, this is quite heavy actually, I'm surprised. Yeah, and it actually, without even taking it out of the wrapping, it does feel quite substantial, you know. It really does. So let's just put that down there. I've got to be very careful now. You have to be very careful when you're handling optics. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just take this case out of the way. I'll just move this out of the way. Sorry about that, I just had to move some things around. But yeah, the case there, really, really nice case that, yeah. Amazing, but this is the star of the show. Just look at this. That is very, very compact. You know what? I'm actually really surprised at how good this feels. The quality, the weight as well. I'll just go through some stats for you. Just reading off the stats on here. We've got a little note here. 55mm across here. That's the objective lens there. Focal length 264mm. I mentioned before, astronomers tend not to talk about focal length. It's a bit of a dirty word. It's more about aperture. The aperture on this, the focal ratio, is f4.8. Now you can actually change the aperture, which is, it's not something I'm going to use, but this is very similar to a camera lens. I showed you before, didn't I? So we've got this Panasonic 70 to 300mm lens, and this is almost 300mm. You can see there that they're not too different really. I know this has got a lens, the lens hood probably makes it a little bit. So we'll just take the lens hood off there for now. But there you go. I mean, if I was to zoom that lens out there, if I was to zoom out with this lens, you can probably tell that there's not really like a massive difference between them. So that goes to show that there's not a whole lot of difference. Here's the front there for you. Look at that there. That is a beautiful looking lens. Yeah, that's really good. Quintuplet as well. Now what that means, it means it's got 5 elements. Now telescopes tend to be described as anything from an achromat to an apochromat. An apochromat tends to be a telescope that can reduce colour fringing and all that sort of thing. Tends to be a triplet, you know, like a trip. It's got 3 elements. Now this has got 4, I believe it's got 4 elements, And it's also, I believe the other element, the fifth element, could be a flattener. I might be wrong there, but I think it could be a field flattener, the fifth element there. So the image circle of this telescope. So if I was to use it on my, say I've got this Nikon D850, which I'm going to be using with this, which I intend to use it with this telescope. If you see there, that is a full frame sensor. Now, apparently, from what I've heard, the imaging circle on this is just a little bit smaller than full frame. So ideally, it probably better suits an APS-C camera or maybe a Micro Four Thirds camera. But there's nothing wrong with using a full frame camera as long as you're prepared to crop into the picture. It's the same with the Panasonic. I've also got a Panasonic S5, that's my S5 camera. Now, how would I connect it to the Panasonic? Well, here's the thing, you see. I'll show you the way I'm going to connect it. So we'll just bring that back there. I've got an adapter in here. And it is, I hope it'll focus on this, but that is, can you see that? That is an M4.8, because the mount on this is an M4.8 screw mount, M48 screw mount. And if you want to put any camera onto this, you need to get an adapter for M48 to whatever camera you have. Now, I have a Nikon camera. I also have a Panasonic, but I'll show you how I'm working with that in a minute. So you put the adapter on there. Oh. Oops. Take two. You put the adapter on there. Oh, I'm probably getting ahead of myself here now, aren't I? I'm putting it on the camera straight away. I've not even had a good look at the... But anyway, never mind. We will just see if I can put that on there. Oh, let's see if I can get it on here. It's got to go backwards, of course. This is a Nikon, so it has to go backwards. Where's the red dot? I can't see the red dot. Oh, there it is. Oh, bear with me, folks. It's now on. So there you go. I have now successfully mounted the Askar A55 onto my Nikon D850. How simple was that? It was pretty simple. Now, I must say, when you're putting the adapter on, make sure you screw it on tight because it was starting to unscrew there. But that, like I say, I think I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit there. I think we need to look at the telescope a bit more, don't we? Oh. Sorry about that. I was jumping the gun a bit there by attaching it to my camera and rushing it a little bit. But we're back here now with the telescope. It weighs 1.84 kilograms. That is quite a weight. But I tell you what, the thing about that is it's very reassuring to know. You know when things are really cheap and you pick them up and you think, oh, this feels really light. It doesn't feel like it's got anything to it. This, when you pick something up like this and you can just feel the quality, and for the price as well, $7.95, it's not particularly cheap. Now, you can spend thousands and thousands of pounds on telescopes. You can get a Takahashi or something stupid like that. You could even pay tens of thousands for a telescope, but this is a bit of a bargain because although it's a short focal length wide field telescope, it gives the same kind of quality that you could expect on a telescope that costs way more. And that's the reason why I bought it. I've been pondering over this telescope now for about a year since I saw it. There's a very similar one been out for quite a while now, the Red Cat 51 William Optics. That's been out for quite a few years. This is probably... It probably inspired this one. I thought about getting one of those, but eventually I settled on this one. So let's have a look round. On the bottom, we've got a dovetail. This is a typical dovetail which you would have on any telescope to connect to any kind of mount that you're doing, and you can slide it up and down so that you can get the balance right. There's plenty of, looks like an 8-inch dovetail. If you take that off, you've got a normal, can you see a normal tripod foot? So that's like a normal tripod foot that you would stick on a tripod. So you can use the dovetail if you want, or just the tripod foot. I'm not too sure. I think that I'm probably going to be taking this bar off myself and just using the tripod foot. On the top here, we've got an accessory holder, which you can take off if you want. You could even put another scope on the top of here, possibly a guide scope if you're interested in auto guiding. You could put that on the top. You could put, I don't know, you could put a controller on there for something. But that's a useful little holder there for something else you might want to hold. There's even another holder here. Look, can you see? There's another. It's like very similar to a flash mount or something like that. And something else I want to mention as well. I've mentioned that you can actually adjust the aperture. Can you see the aperture in there? You can adjust the aperture down to f22 if you want to. I don't really see the point of that. Now, I think I've watched a few other videos and they said you can actually use this just as a normal telephoto lens, and you'll probably get amazing pictures with it because the quality will be amazing. But this telescope is designed for taking photographs, high quality, very high quality photographs of stars. You will get pinpoint stars from edge to edge, because I've seen the videos, they've shown the stats. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. The quality of this little travel telescope is amazing from the videos that I've seen. But the focuser as well, I also want to mention that it has a focusing ring very similar to a camera lens. So I believe that this here is the main focusing lens, and this one here is a fine-tune focusing lens. I hope I'm right, by the way. I believe that the aperture could be, yeah, that this silver ring here, you see the silver ring there, that's how you change the aperture, and you can go from 4.8 wide open, that's wide open, and you can go right down to f22 where you're taking it down to a little point. But I don't really see the point in that. I don't know many people who would buy this and who would want to use an aperture any lower or any smaller than f4.8. So in a way, I don't really know why it has a variable aperture, but it does. It's there if you want it, and if you want to use it as a camera lens, you have that option, I suppose. But I'll just show you the back. So there we go with the back there. This is what you take off for your, takes a bit of screwing off that actually, and this is where you put your adapter on for whatever camera you're using. So this is the it's a 48mm for Nikon, M48 to Nikon in this case. So that you put your adapter on there for whatever camera you're using, and then you stick your camera on the end. So that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy to do. You can rotate it so you can frame your subject much better. So in some cases, when you're pointing at different parts of the sky, this telescope might be, oh, it's the wrong way around, I want it this way around. So that's what you can do. You can actually rotate the telescope without having to move it on the mount. So that's how you do. And they've all got locking screws as well. All of these controls, the main focuser, the fine-tune focuser, that's got a locking screw as well. So yeah, I'm actually really, really impressed. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to, let's just try another mount, for another camera. So I mentioned I've also got a Panasonic camera. So if you've got a Panasonic mirrorless camera like mine, and I've got an S5, I think it uses the L mount. Let's see how I attach it to that. Well, I'll show you. I got the Nikon mount for a reason, because I already have a Nikon adapter for my Panasonic. So if I put this on here like that, you see that there? I can now use a Nikon lens on my Panasonic camera. So I can now, hopefully, wish me luck, hopefully this will now fit on my Panasonic using the Nikon adapter, and it has done. You just need to make sure that when you tighten the adapter on, it goes on tightly. But there you go. I've now got my Panasonic camera, so I can now use the Panasonic or the Nikon with the Askar 55 because I got an adapter for my Panasonic camera. So I'll just take this off now, so I'll probably come back to you in a second. Right, okay, so I just want to show you the lens hood now. Now the lens hood is actually quite important. This is a lens hood here. It's quite a deep lens hood as well. The lens hood helps to protect the lens from getting dewed up or fogged up. Normally you'd have a lens hood on your camera to protect it from rain. You're not going to be taking this out in the rain. So the lens hood is designed for this to help keep dew off from forming on the outer lens there. So if we put the lens hood on, there we are. I've now put the lens hood on, and this is the telescope in full. There you go. That is a bit of a beast. Let's just put it down there. Now, you may also want to use a dew heater. Now, some astronomers use dew heaters where you wrap a band around the lens hood or around the front of the lens, and that can help you to keep dew off, because dew can be a bit of a problem. So I'll just put it next to this one. There you go. That's my Panasonic 70 to 300 f5.6. So at 300 millimeter, this is a bit slower than this one. This is 200, what is it, 264 millimeters f4.8. And I tell you what I'll do, let's get this one out, shall we? Look at that. So you can see now the size of this, how compact it is compared to my big telescope. Obviously a completely different beast, this one, for a completely different subjects, I should say. But there you go. There it is. Let's just put it in the middle there because it's the star of the show. The Askar 55 f4.8 quintuplet travel telescope. And from what I've seen, the reviews, I said before, it performs amazingly. Absolutely amazingly. Not cheap, I know, at the price it is. But like I say, it can give you the same sort of quality of a much more expensive telescope. So sorry if my voice sounds a bit strange. I'm just trying to get over a bug. But I'm going to leave it there now, folks. That was the Askar, my unboxing of the Askar 55 Super Quintuplet Astrograph. There you go. Look at that. I cannot wait to get out and use this telescope. And please make sure to subscribe to the channel because I will be getting out there to take some pictures of space, and you never know, I might even head off somewhere a little bit more sunny where I get more chance to see the stars, because we don't get a whole lot of chance to see the stars around here. But we're coming into a good part of the year, into the springtime, which is a great time of the year to get out and do some astronomy and some astrophotography. So I'm looking forward to using this lens, so look out for that. I'll just show you the box again. There you go. There's the box there. That's the telescope there. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait to get out using it. I hope you like this video, and if you do, don't forget to hit like and also hit subscribe, and I will see you again on the next video. And don't forget to keep looking up.